Hi everyone, welcome to Live with Blayne J, your weekly connection to people, brands, and businesses. Thank you so much for joining. And if you haven't already, make sure that you lock your notifications to Real-ish Radio. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all streaming platforms. We're working really hard to bring you all the content that you want in podcasting, vlogs, and videos. We have some great stuff coming your way. So check my page for updates, Blayne_J on Instagram. And of course, always check the Real-ish Radio page and download the app at realishradioapp.com. Tonight, I am super excited. I'm always excited. Every time I have a live, I'm always excited. But I'm super excited tonight because we're going to be joined by Paulla McCarthy. She is the first Black woman in New York State to own a water bottling plant. And I don't know if you understand what that means, but that means she owns the company and she owns the land that the water comes off of. So she literally owns water. And if you don't know how important water is the fuel to everything in this life on this earth. So Paula is going to join us in a minute and tell us a little bit about her story. We're gonna chop it up right now because here's Paula.
Hi,
Paula. How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm good. Now, for those of you that are just joining my show for the first time, I always like to tell how I know my guests. So Paula and I have a mutual friend named Jennifer Kirkling, and some of you may know her as my taxologist. She was on a previous live with me. She is your EA, your CPA, your go-to tax person for personal and business. And Jennifer posted Paula just a simple post saying, this is the first Black woman to own a water plant in New York. And my first thought was like, wow, that's amazing. And then my second thought was, does anybody know this? Does anybody know how big and significant this is? So I contacted Jennifer and I was like, I just want to talk to Paula. I'm just interested to hear her story and talk to her. So thank you, Jennifer, for connecting us, because since we've connected, we had like one phone call, and then within like a 24-hour period, that one phone call turned into like 3 phone calls. And since then, we have just been like vibing and building and connecting with people. And so I'm just so happy that you're here with me tonight. So thank you so much, Paula. I appreciate you.
No, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on the platform.
Thank you. So let's get into it. I need you to make me understand and make our viewers understand how a day trip to upstate New York with your children turned into you purchasing a water plant, because I thought you were going up there to taste water, and that's kind of what happened, but then it led to so much more.
Yeah, so I'm sure. So I'm the CEO of the Youth Saving Society. 2017, my boys were entering in 2017. My boys were entering high school. I keep saying high school. They were entering their senior year of high school, and I just wanted to get them into a mentorship program. The school didn't have one. They asked me to volunteer to teach a mentorship program. What I thought was going to be one class turned into a whole entire program. Other schools heard about what I was doing. Our program grew. Fast forward to January 2020, we're rolling out our pilot program because I was asked by the DOE to have our program in multiple schools within the city, Harlem, in Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn. So we're running our pilot program. COVID happened. In the midst of COVID, we have to shut down our pilot program. Our funds are reallocated, so all this other stuff is going on. So our financial literacy, and so I should say that it's a financial wellness and awareness organization. We're a fintech company, and since COVID, our program was shut down. During COVID, my 20-year-old boys, I keep misspeaking. So my boys are 21 years old.
They just had a birthday. Yes, they just had a birthday
on the 31st. So on their birthdays, they started the New York Water Boys, which is a
and they are twins. Because you say my boys, so she has twin boys that are 21 years old.
They're twin boys. They're 21 years old. 2 days ago, and they go out and they start a water distribution company. I'm giving you the fast forward version. So they start this water company. They're making a lot of money. I give them $1,600. They go out to the local BJ's. They order pallets of water. They start selling water to like first our friends and family. Then they start selling water to like the local bodegas. And then they get a contract with 21 supermarkets. Once they get this contract with 21 supermarkets, I have an aha moment. I'm like, this can fund a nonprofit because, oh, I should say, we started out as a for-profit organization, but then we had to jump over and become a nonprofit because many of the schools that I was targeting could not afford our program. So that led to me asking the Supermarket Association if they would carry our water. If I did a private label water brand, they agreed. We went upstate. Now that's where we get to the point where we're going upstate. We pile in the car. Again, no one's on the road but us. So during
And
COVID, go ahead.
I just want to tell you, I just want to tell people that are listening that are not familiar with New York, because I feel like when we say upstate, people don't understand. So Paula and I, we're from New York City. And when you hear New York City, that's like Manhattan, Queens, the Bronx. Upstate New York means you are going anywhere from 2 to 6 hours outside of the city. And that's why I wanted to like ask about this day trip, because for us to get from where we are to upstate New York, it's a long drive depending on where you are. But I'm sorry, you were the only one on the road. I just want the viewers to
We
understand
were
what
the
upstate New York
only
is.
one on the road. We went 3 hours away, upstate New York, 20 minutes outside of Albany, New York, which is the state's capital, and everybody should be familiar with Albany. So I kind of tell everyone, oh, we're 20 minutes outside of Albany. And we get to this plant. It's beautiful. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're in the mountains. It's super rural. We're the only black people in the whole entire town. And we get there, but it's really beautiful. And when I got there, there was a 79-year-old and an 81-year-old running this water plant. I kind of shared with them what I was trying to do. They could not support our our order that we had with the Supermarket Association. We needed 2 tractor trailers. So that led to me telling them my story, then saying that they wanted to sell their plant, and the rest is history. October 1st, we signed and we closed, and that's how I became the owner. But I kind of skipped a little bit. Maybe I should tell the part where, so in May, so now we're in May of 2020. We go out to taste water. We come back, we see that they need help. They don't have any help. We come back and we help them maybe about 4 times in a month of May. We move up there in July. Between May and June, actually, we came back every day they needed to bottle. They only bottle 4 hours a week on a Monday. So we came back every Monday. My boys started delivering and doing all their deliveries. We moved up there in July. We closed in October. And that's that. We helped for free. They needed the help. We worked with them. We rolled up our sleeves. My boys did the deliveries, and I did all the administrative things. And my friend, who is also a pastor friend of mine, he came from that background. That he started the largest he did water distribution in South Africa, but also started the largest recycling plant in South Africa. He knew the manufacturing, so we went out there, rolled up our sleeves, we helped. Long story short, we closed October 1st, 2020.
And
I was
you
trying to tell you the
closed.
fast version.
No, I mean, I know the story. I love it all. And I hope that everybody watching understands the significance of that, because it kind of just fell on your lap. It's like, and that's why I wanted you to explain, like, you went upstate to taste some water, and over time it resulted in you actually owning not just the company, but the land, which is about 15 acres of land. There's a beautiful waterfall on it. There's a spring on it. And there's a couple of underground reservoirs, so you have enough water to last several hundred years.
Yep. So we have 15 acres of land, an aquifer, which is an underground lake. We get about 89 million gallons of water flowing through this aquifer annually, which is yearly. And then we have a whole entire factory with 2 production lines. One does 5-gallon, 4-gallon, 3-gallon bottles. The other production line does 1 gallons, 1 liters, your 16-ounce bottles as well as your 8-ounce bottles. And it kind of varies a little in there. So we have a full-on manufacturing plant, water manufacturing plant.
Were you kind of like, what the heck did I get myself into? Because Paula is actually a nurse by trade. You're used to being in hospitals. You were working from home at this time, doing like telehealth. So when this fell into your lap and you wound up being the owner, I mean, I can imagine I would be so excited, but I feel like I'd have a moment of like, oh my goodness, what the heck did I get myself into? Did that ever hit you, or were you kind of just like, all right, I'm gonna figure it out?
Now I'm in that space like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? But it just felt so much bigger than me, and more than anything, it felt so organic. Everything just happened. I felt like I was supposed to be doing what I was doing. The odds were against me in every single at every single aspect. The doors were literally just opening, and the opportunity, like, so we had to come up with a certain amount of money in order to buy the plant. And being a nurse by profession, being a single mother, being not even versed at all in this space. So coming into this space and talking about owning, let alone running a water plant and owning it, I just understood that it was bigger than me.
And it is so much bigger than you because, like I said before, water is life, and water fuels everything on this planet. It is very, very significant to have access to it, especially in the United States. We think that we're so privileged, but there's so many places within the US that don't have access to clean running water. There's people's homes that don't have water running through it, period. So the fact that you are now kind of in control of this natural resource and you're able to provide it the way that you want is a big deal, which kind of led you to your current campaign that you have, the YSS WaterWorks 3 million gallons challenge.
Yes.
So she's about to tell us, Paula is on a mission to sell 3 million gallons of water within the next within the next 30 days. And it just kicked off this week. So what exactly are you trying to do with that? Because I know you're trying to basically bring water to anyone in need, but let us know about this current campaign.
So, and to be truth be told, I went in for a mentorship program. I won't say your name, sir.
But we see you. We know who it is.
I went in for a mentorship. I actually was in Clubhouse, which I feel like is an amazing space. Clubhouse kind of gives us access like never before to people that we would not ordinarily be able to talk to. And, so I get into this one particular room and I sign up for free coaching. I go in and get this free coaching, and this man says to me, I explain everything that I have going on and about the water plant, just trying to get his guidance, being that he's a millionaire and doing like all these big businesses. So I'm like, this is what I have going on. And he says to me, this is the worst thing you could have done. Why would you buy a water plant? You would have to then compete with these larger, companies. And in that, that's what I said too. I couldn't sleep for 2 days, Blayne. I could not sleep. So something was just saying to me, like, you know what? I'm going to sell 3 million gallons of water in 30 days, and these companies are going to have to compete with me. How about that? How about I'm not going to compete with them? They're going to have to compete with me. If we can make a Popeye sandwich
sell out. I have yet to get one. Okay. And it's been out. Yeah. People stand online to buy Jordans wrapped around the corner. Even in COVID, I forgot what city and state it was, but it was during the pandemic last year, and people were wrapped around the line to buy Jordans. So,
and I believe like our community, I feel like we just did not understand. I wanted to bring awareness to water. What we need is awareness and access, right? So when I got into this space, I learned about the scarcity of water. And again, unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize how important this issue around water was. Water started being traded as a commodity in December 2020. And in addition to that, when this gentleman says to me that, no, you should not be in this space, I was kind of taken aback. I was like, you know what? I'm going to show you what I can do. I'm going to show you that we're going to create one of the best. It's not even that it's Black owned. I'm going to show you that we're going to create a company that can compete with the best of them. We're going to have the latest infrastructure. We're going to have great marketing, and we're going to be able to provide fresh, clean drinking water to communities that, one, that don't have it, but to everyone. So I came up with this campaign. We're going to sell 3 million gallons of water in 30 days. I believe that we can do it. I believe that we, as a community, we're strong enough to do it. And just because you told me I can't, I'm going to show you what I can do. Sorry.
No,
I'm just going
you're
to show you what
absolutely
we're going
right.
to do.
And you're going to do it. And before we continue, I just want everybody to know, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on Instagram, you can comment in the chats, you can ask Paula questions. Now is your time to have your direct connection to her with anything that you might want to know from her or about the business. So I just want to let the viewers know. But that's awesome, because like you and I have had conversations where we're like, sometimes we're our own worst enemies. Sometimes like we tell ourselves that we can't do something, but it's different when someone else tells you like, no, you can't do this. And I think that you were a threat. You were a threat as a woman, you were a threat as a minority, and that person was just like, if I tell her she can't do it, it'll stick in her head. Now she's less competition for anybody else, and we can keep this thing going. So I really applaud you and commend you for being like, okay, sir, let me show you what's about to happen, because you're going to sell those 3 million gallons in the next 30 days. And for those of you that want to buy water, you can donate, you can pre-order it now. The website is YSS WaterWorks with an S at the end of it, YSSWaterWorks.com. So go on there now, you can donate, and the water will get to you after the challenge is over.
Correct.
Paula will send out some more information about when the water will get to you. And people can send water to different places. You can send gallons of water throughout the United States. I believe that's correct, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So we're definitely working on all of our logistics, and we're working on, again, a lot of people have been showing us a lot of love, a lot of support. We have loads of pre-orders already. What we did was put a counter up. So every morning, we're going to give you updates on our Instagram. We'll show you where we are as far as how many bottles we've sold. This is something that we're doing for the community. I have been offered a whole lot of money to sell this land and this water plant, but I understand that in order for us to build as a community, that we need access to resources.
So the answer is no to anyone who asks.
No, and this is just way bigger than me. And I know I'm trying to leave behind. It's just not even generationally for myself. This water scarcity in a space where it's just so uncertain. I know it's my responsibility to hold on to it for generations to come, because we just don't know.
We don't. And the thing is, like, water is power. And so with you being at the helm of this, you can decide just exactly what you're doing, that you're going to have a campaign where water can get to everyone. Because during COVID, which was just, I guess we're technically still in COVID, but when it first hit, water was scarce. Toilet paper, we all know, was scarce. Like, all of these things that we take for granted because we always have access to them on a normal basis were so hard to find. Bottled water. I feel like in New York we have good water. I think our tap water is pretty good. Although, like, I don't know if it's just me, but like when I moved to Queens, I was like, this tastes different. I don't know, it tastes different to me. And then
it's the same water.
I know it's the same water. It's the same water, but I was like, this tastes different than Brooklyn. I'm used to my Brooklyn water, and this tastes a little different, but it's good water. We are fortunate enough in New York to have really good water that we can drink, whether it's filtered or not. So you kind of have this power to decide that you're going to donate water to people in need. You're going to have a campaign to bring awareness to it. That's a big deal. I don't see anyone else doing that.
Two-thirds of the world, sorry, didn't mean to
No.
I just wanted to 2/3 of the world do not have access to clean drinking water. And I want you guys to Google this. Bill Gates started a whole entire campaign. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation created this whole entire campaign around poop water. So I'm going to leave it there. Go and Google it. And I don't know about who wants to drink recycled
Uh,
toilet water,
mhm.
but go do your research. I don't want to drink recycled toilet water.
I think I know
um,
what you mean. You put like a tablet or you put like something in it and it removes
Absolutely not.
supposedly.
They have whole entire infant structures where they're taking sewage water out of sewage, and they're recycling it and giving it to people as drinking water.
No, I got my Brooklyn tap right here that's
No, no,
working.
put your Brooklyn tap down. You'll have yes water very soon.
I had that. I wanted to. I had a margarita ready actually for now, but I wound up drinking it already. So, so I was like, let me get my water, my good old Brooklyn tap water, and call it a day. But yeah, no, we don't want poop water. We're happy to get the clean, fresh one that's accessible. And I know that that's kind of pushed in other countries. It's like a quick fix to be like, all right, you don't have access to water, so you drop this tablet in or you drop this like filter in, and it will supposedly take it out. So you have the ability to say, you know what, I have found out that there's a crisis somewhere and I'm gonna work to get this water to you, or I'm gonna start something, a movement where people are gonna be aware, and you're gonna bring to light that this is such a resource that's needed. So everybody right now go to YSS WaterWorks. The link is on the screen. Donate pre-sale. Make sure that you get that water out to whoever, to yourself, to whoever's in need. And so the other thing, I'm not gonna make people privy to everything we talk about offline, but Paula and I also, because that's just for us. Paula and I also, we talk a lot about motherhood. We talk a lot about like our kids, or like I may be on the phone with her and my daughter's like in the background and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna run away from home. Like I'm gonna run now. And Paula's like, no, you're not. You're gonna stay there and figure out what she wants. So you are a mother of 3. We mentioned the 21-year-old twins, but that's not all, right?
No, my daughter is going. I was on. Can I say that where I was on Tuesday? Can I say that?
You go right
Oh,
ahead. You
okay.
go right ahead.
So on my EYL interview on Tuesday,
Yeah.
I did not mention my 12-year-old daughter. And I came home to, oh, so you only have 2 kids. So I do have twin boys, and I also have a 12-year-old daughter. She is impeccable. My kids are entrepreneurs. My daughter started her own nail polish company when she was 9 years old. She is in business, and Parker, her name is Parker.
Shout out to Parker. We see you, Parker.
So I am the mother of 3 kids. My children and I pretty much grew up together. I was a very young mother, and a lot of this is inspired by them because I know my kids are watching. And more importantly, generational wealth is one of those things that I think that as a community, we've not had the opportunity to do. A lot of us are first generation to this country. A lot of us are just moving into a space where we're understanding a system that was built without us, right? So I think it's important, and even the groups of us that had the information was not sharing it. I think now that we have access to each other, sorry, I went off. We were talking about motherhood. My baby.
No. It's all
Okay.
no. We gave our shout out to Parker because she has to get a shout out. She's a woman. You and I are both. She's not a woman. I'm sorry. She's a little girl. You and I are both raising girls, and it's important that you're a good role model and the best role model for your boys, but also the best role model for our daughters as well, because they are taking note and they're watching. Ava was like, I was putting on some lipstick for this live. I think I don't know if I was on the phone with you, and she ran out with the lipstick and it was all over the place. And, she's emulating what I'm doing. She's watching, and your daughter's watching. So motherhood is a big part of our lives. So you have this business side, you have this motherhood side, and then there's also the side where it's just like, I need to relax. I need to unwind. I need to chill out. So what do you do to relax, unwind, chill out, put the motherhood aside, put the job aside, and just kind of like be Paula, do some self-care, do some like unwinding?
What's my favorite thing to do? I'm like an avid reader. I love a good book, and I don't like Kindle. I love to feel a
Me
good book.
either. I like a
I
physical
love a
book.
book. I love a book. I am a water girl. I'm a water sign. I'm a water number. Am I a water sign? I think I'm a water number. Um, and I just love the beach. So traveling is my thing. I love a good massage. I'm a spa girl. I love the spa. I love the beach. And if I can get a massage on a beach, that's
Ooh. With an umbrella, with a little umbrella drink or something like that. Yeah.
I have a little snobby 12-year-old now too who thinks that she should also have massages on the beach.
She can do
um,
it. She could. Come on, Parker. Let's do it.
no, but I love outside of that. I don't have many friends, but I do have a very close knit group of girls that are in my family, and we're pretty much all grew up together. We're all the same age, pretty much. And girls' trips, I love to travel. So, girls' trips, a good massage, and a good book. Um, that's me. That I love that.
That sounds amazing. That sounds like so good. And aside from traveling, I just have to mention Paula, because Paula and I are both from Brooklyn.
Hmm.
So shout out to Brooklyn, and it's funny because when I was telling Paula like the elementary school I went to, she's like, "Oh yeah, so you didn't want to mess with me and my friends, like we weren't the ones that you wanted to mess
No,
with
no,
or
no,
whatever."
no, no,
And
because
so
you went to the Catholic
I went
school
to Catholic school,
at the
and they used
corner
to jump
of
everybody. The corner
you
people
went to
used
the
to jump
Catholic
them.
school at the corner of the block that I grew up on, and I was just telling you, like, we were the kids that your mother did not want you to hang out with.
And what did I tell you when you said that? I was like, oh yeah, because the kids on that block, they used to jump everybody because they knew that we got out of school. I thank goodness did not get jumped, but we used to get out at like 2 or something, and public school got out at maybe 3. And so some kids, they got out early because they didn't go to school or whatever they did. And it was that specific block that you used to chill on that, that I didn't walk up. I didn't live up that way anyway, but you just knew like girls got their earrings snatched, people got their pockets run through, like it was a mess. So when I
I
was
don't know if that was us. I just remember that. No, that
you're like,
was
don't put that on me. You're like, don't put that on
no.
me.
That was definitely not us. We came from a different school. Not but we were definitely the kids on that block that your parents didn't want you to hang out with. We were really we had a lot of freedom. Not a lot of parental guidance. We had a lot of freedom, and it is what it is. It was I had a lot of fun, and it's made me so street smart. And I take that knowing into my business too, right? It creates this different kind of business savvy because you could see people, you could see where they're coming from. Yeah, that's all. Like it has helped to build and shape me. So
I think coming from Brooklyn, especially the part that I'm from, and the part like I say I'm from Flatbush. When I was growing up, it was Flatbush. It's
it
near
is
Prospect
Flatbush.
Park.
This new
It's people
Brooklyn I
call
don't
it
get.
Prospect Lefferts, whatever. I mean, people call it something different now. But when I
Lefferts
grew up,
Garden, all
all
these
kind of
other stuff.
crap. I'm like, this sure was Flatbush a couple years ago. So I think like coming from New York and you know, growing up like in the 80s, the 90s, it's just the mentality that you have. It's like you could be as classy as you want, but we always have this like sense of street smart, and we can turn in a minute. Like I know I've been in situations where I'm all like, oh my gosh, hello, how are you? And then somebody says something and it's like, what did you? So we just have this ability, I feel like, to be so direct.
Turn it on.
But yeah. But now I'm into my nasty emails. I'm not into like, I'm gonna curse you out. I'm into like, let me send this nasty, you know, email with all the big words and
email.
Exactly. I'm like, this is gonna get them. So that's what I've progressed into at this point. But no, I think that what you're doing is absolutely amazing, and I'm so interested to know like who is it or what is it that drives you and inspires you? I'm gonna guess it's your children, but there may be some other people in your life. And sometimes we don't have role models. Sometimes we don't have, that's not true. Sometimes we don't have tangible role models that are like in front of our face, people that we can see on a normal basis. We have to look on TV for these people, which is fine. But who are some of the people that inspire you and drive you to keep going and to kind of like say the things that you said to that person when they were like, you can't do this, and you were like, no, I'm gonna do this. That had to come from somewhere.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head when you said my children firstly. And I resort back to my boys because I feel like we live in two Americas, and I feel like my boys, um, they're who I worry about. My girl, I think girls are savvy girls. If you're cute, we can get by. Black women in this country, um, we are in a better position, unfortunately, than our black men. And I think we do our black men a disservice. Um, and I say we, I don't mean we in particularly. Like I don't want to say what motivates me to do what I'm doing. My boys mostly, and creating a space for um, the black family because I am very fearful for my black boys. And who else has inspired me? I said I was reading Nelson Mandela's book, and I'm rereading it right now too. He inspires me. When you can live a sacrificial life, um, that to me is powerful. He has inspired me beyond words. When I went to my boys' school and I was looking for a mentorship program, I had just finished reading A Long Walk to Freedom. And people may not be okay with his policies after he came out, but hearing his story from his mouth was powerful. But most importantly to me, what my takeaway was, if you can sacrifice yourself for the greater good of people, to me, that's powerful. So
That's
Malcolm X,
amazing.
that's another one. Betty Shabbat. There's so many dope people to me. Um, if you can see life outside of yourself and recognize that you're here for a short time and what you do here matters, that to me is super dope. And lastly, mostly, Jesus. I became a Christian in a very interesting space. I was living in a shelter at one point when I was younger. I was about 21. And I met Jesus in this space. I started reading my Bible. I had nothing else at that time. And when I read this Bible, I probably didn't have to say that, but I started reading the Bible and it was all I had at that time. But as I moved through this journey and on my life's journey, what inspired me was I fell in love with who Jesus, what everything he embodied. And for me, that inspires me. If I could be a little bit more selfless, a little bit kinder, a little bit just understanding that there's so much more than me, then I think this life is worth living. Sorry, but who inspired me? Those people are
No,
like,
do
okay,
not
that's all I
apologize
can.
because what you said, which
Yeah.
I'm nodding my head in agreement, and I don't care if anybody else doesn't agree because what you're saying is real. When things happen in life, we don't know where to turn sometimes, or we turn to God and we turn to Jesus because something's happening, and sometimes that's what you need, and that's what brings it in your life. And sometimes it's only for the moment. You turn to that, and then once you're out of the struggle, you're out of the situation, you're like, all right, thanks so much. Let me go back to whatever it was that I'm doing. So, keeping God in your life, keeping God first is what you do to thrive and survive for yourself. So please don't apologize for that. I should have, today's Good Friday. I'm Catholic, so
Today is Good Friday.
yeah, I was like, my mom was like, I hope you didn't eat meat today, because we're not supposed to eat meat. I was like, I sure did have a sausage biscuit this morning. So, we all do things that go against our beliefs and go against our daily upbringing. But what you're saying doesn't need an apology. What you're saying is powerful and it's real.
And I don't want to in no way paint myself as like this perfect person because I fall short. Believe me, I'm far from perfect. But I think you and I had this conversation about moving from our 20s into our 30s. And your 30s, like, so when you're a teenager, you know absolutely everything. When you're in
Yeah.
your 20s, you're trying to figure out who you are. But I think in your 30s, you kind of meet yourself. You kind of know what you want, what you have a deeper sense of self in your 30s. You could kind of figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And I feel like for me, when I was 31, in my 30s, I learned who I was and started to meet the true me, you know? So I just feel like I don't know.
You're in
Sorry.
a good, no,
I'm
you're
in
in a
a
good space. It sounds like you're in a really good space because we were talking about in our teens and how like we thought we knew everything and we were just like out here doing whatever we were doing. And then you come into your 20s and I feel like for me 20s just seems so grown. 20s just
yeah.
seems like, oh my God, I'm in my 20s. This is a big deal. And then you hit 30 and you're like, well, this is an even bigger deal. And you look back on your 20s. I know I look back on my 20s and there's so much I wish I would have known. And I'm working better on it now to have like the self-confidence, to get rid of the self-doubt, to just like not let things bother me. Like I said, I would, send nasty text messages and curse people out. I've evolved to these emails that I'm like, this is how we're going to handle it,
Yeah.
And that's the 30 something year old me. The 20 something year old me is like, oh, let me call my brother. Let me, like, let me handle this. And that's just not the way that it is when you're in your 30s. You are more self-assured and you are hopefully more comfortable in your skin. So I think you're right. Like you're more confident, you keep it
Yep.
classy, and then you get ratchet when you need to. We know how to turn it off and on. And for those of you that want to hear more of Paula, you have a Clubhouse. You host a Clubhouse that, you're trying to get me on it. And I was like, oh my God, I have an Android. She's like, come to my Clubhouse. I'm like, I can't, I have an Android and I have an iPad and it's dead. It's been dead for years. But you can listen to Paula every week on Clubhouse. Let us know about that.
So on Sundays at 7, for me, Clubhouse, I made some of the most amazing connections in this Clubhouse space. Again, I don't feel like we had access to each other in this kind of way before. So I feel like as a community, as a people, what we have access to, we have access to information and each other like never before. So I go into Clubhouse. This is how I actually ended up landing the EYL podcast interview. Was they met me in Clubhouse. Like I met someone in Clubhouse. So I started a room because I realized that I was having difficulties with work-life balance, and I was failing at being a mom. And I say failing, I use that term loosely. I'm not failing, but I was like, I'm not doing as much in that space as I am with my business. So I started the space. It's called Water, the New Currency. And we talk about in there, we're going to talk about water, adding it to your portfolio, obviously, importance of water, but also how to manage your time. It's the one thing we cannot get back. Just maximizing and just maximizing your time, and just being able to learn from each other and share, and build, honestly. So yeah, I'm on Clubhouse Sundays at 7 p.m. We
And
start to
water
build
is
and plan for our week. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I just want to reiterate. It's water. Is it for those that are on Clubhouse? Water is the new currency. That's the name of the room.
Water, the new currency. No, water, the new currency.
Water, the new currency. Okay, something like that. Well, those of you that are on Clubhouse, I'm not on Clubhouse because the way my phone works, it won't let me do it. Yeah.
You have Android. I don't think Androids are allowed on Clubhouse.
No, they're not. They don't.
You guys missed the boat.
We do. I mean, but I'm an Android kind of girl. I gotta stick with them because they've been good to me. But even like I leave you voice notes and you're like, I can hear you, but I can't voice note you back. So so we're trying to like work on it. But I just can't switch over to Samsung. But for those, I'm sorry, I can't switch over to Apple. But for those of you that are on, you can check Paula out to hear more about her every Sunday on Clubhouse. Let people know where they can follow you on Instagram as well.
I'm at Paulla McCarthy. That's Paula with two L's, Paulla McCarthy. You're going to put it in there, McCarthy. So I'm at Paulla McCarthy on Instagram. I'm at Paulla McCarthy on Twitter. I think I'm at McCarthy Paula on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn and all these others. I'm on Facebook. At Paulla McCarthy. Where else should I be? Like, this is all new for me, guys. It is. I am trying. But Instagram
You're
has
acclimating well.
we made the love and support has been overwhelming. We reached over 11,000 followers in about 4 days. That is amazing. So that's super cool. So we're on Instagram at Paulla McCarthy, at Youth Saving Society as well.
And that is the financial literacy program that you mentioned before.
Yep, we're financial literacy and awareness organization. We're a fintech company. We have an amazing savings tool. You'll hear a lot about what we're doing in the next coming months. September is going to be huge for us with our financial literacy organization. So right now, I have like 2 babies. And our water plant will support our financial literacy organization. That's the whole reason why I bought the water plant. I really was looking at trying to create a social enterprise where our water plant will support our foundation, and we would not have to rely on other people for financing. No grants. I was like, no begging, no asking, no filling out. We have a natural resource. We have an amazing opportunity where we can support not just a Black-owned business. We all need water. So it's a commodity, actually. So if we support the water supports our financial literacy, which helps with community development, building our kids. So it comes full circle.
There is a question, do you offer mentorship for water companies?
I have been getting this question so often. We will do that in the future. This is so new to me. I've not had any mentorship or anything in and around that. So right now, my focus is being able to create the best water plant that we can, so we could be competitive, so we can offer you the private labeling. Right now, we need to upgrade our facility. We need to market. We need rebranding. There's so much work that we need to do, hence why we started the funding campaign, the Yes Funding campaign. I would love to, but we will have to visit it in the near future. Does that make sense? Yeah.
That is all right, because you're still learning and growing. So as you learn and grow, you're going to spread that to everyone else. So that is all good.
However, because I've been getting so many questions, and as I learn it, I'll share it. How about that? I'm going to do a YouTube page, and I'll try to answer questions on YouTube so people can actually go to YouTube, get it. And that's like, I also said that, again, after our campaign, and we're finished with this because I'm on a full-on PR tour. So after our campaign, we'll definitely look at how we can answer questions through Zoom and do different things like that.
No, that sounds amazing. And anything that you learn, I know that you're more than happy to share. So stay tuned for all of the good tips on water and financial literacy and business and all kind of stuff that Paula has coming to everyone watching. This is Dawn. Do you know that April is National Financial Literacy Month?
Thank you, Dawn. I did.
I did not know that, but that's great.
So we will be giving out a lot of information in and around just how we can build personally our finances, how we can budget. We'll even put budget sheets up throughout the month. We'll create different challenges, and we'll do it collectively and together, right? So my audience is a very, very much wide variety. We have men, we have women, and I've had a lot of younger people on our Youth Saving Society because I'm in the school space. I have a lot of younger people on Youth Saving Society, and whatever we learn and can share as far as budgeting, credit, all those things that are necessary before they transition is all the stuff that we want to share. So we'll put it up. It'll be it'll also be in a space where we can learn from each other even. So I'm definitely looking for how we can share information. So.
And another question, what are your top 3 recommendations to learn more about managing and growing money?
Repeat that.
What are your top 3 recommendations to learn more about managing and growing money?
Top 3. Okay. Yes. No. Sorry.
I think financial literacy is the first one.
Financial literacy is the first one, right?
Mm-hmm. Understanding how money works.
Yep. Number 1 is financial. Right. So, top 3 places. EYL is doing really great things in that space right now for us. Getting books. Dr. Claude Anderson. He has a dope book. Is it called Powernomics, or is it called? I don't want to misquote it, but that book is amazing.
I can Google it right now if you want me to.
Powernomics. It speaks about how we use money in our community. So financial literacy, we have access to information in each other. Like I keep saying, mentorship, financial literacy courses, mentorships, reading as many books as you can, and just surrounding yourself with people who are doing, again, I know someone asked me about mentorship, but really surrounding yourself with people who are doing what you want to do. And there's so many podcasts giving you information about financial literacy. You can come to our website, youthsavingsociety.com. Probably I should have started there. We'll get it's information. We should have started there. But EYL is an amazing platform. My brother's over there. They're doing great things. We're just sharing information like never before, and I think it's super dope.
And when Paula says EYL, for those of you that missed it, she was on Earn Your Leisure. You can find them on YouTube, Instagram. They are a podcast. She was on it. I think it premiered earlier this week, and she goes a little bit more, way more into the nitty gritty of her company, her foundation. I'm sorry, her organization, Youth Saving Society, a little bit more into her story about her boys when they were selling water, shout out to the New York Water Boys. So definitely check that out. I believe that some of it is on your page. There might be a clip or 2 on your page, but you can go to EYL on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, and watch her full interview there.
It's EYL 127. It's episode 127.
Right. Episode 127. You'll know because you know what Paula looks like, so you'll see her face on there, so you know to click. And yes, it's Powernomics. That's the book you were saying.
Powernomics, right? Yep. It's a dope book. Dr. Claude Anderson.
Claude Anderson.
Yep. Dr. Claude Anderson is amazing in this space, and he really breaks down what we can do and how we can grow as a community. So this is an amazing book to actually. The richest, if you're younger. I think The Richest Man in Babylon is a really good book. It just talks about becoming instead of being a consumer, it teaches you about being a lender and saving. It's a really good book. What else? Yeah, I think that's a really great place to start. Those are some really great books too.
No, those are awesome recommendations, and thank you so much for that, and thank you for the question. I am looking at the time because after this, Paula actually is going to be doing a live on her page for a couple minutes, and I want everybody to be able to watch that because she's going to be on and off before you know it. So before we kind of wrap this up, Paula, I always ask my guests at the end of the show if there's any thank yous, shout outs, recognitions, anything that you want to say before we wrap it up. I know you did shout out your kids, but you can shout them out again. But now is the time, so go right ahead because I'm going to get on and watch your live as well.
I think everybody has been great. I've been getting an overwhelming amount of support. And through this, again, I have met some amazing people on the Clubhouse platform that has supported what I was doing. Well, that's Francis, Jamal, Crystal. I met you, I met Dawn, Jennifer, and everyone has honestly been rallying around what I'm doing, and that has like been and my kid Parker. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I don't
We have to say my kids, not the boys, my kids.
Parker. No, I have had over the last month, I've had Stacy, I've had some of the most Miss Yvette, I've had some of the most amazing people, that it has come into my life. And I think it's super dope that the best thing that I can do is really create this team of powerful people who are experts in their own right, who can add value to what I'm doing. So a shout out to all you guys who are who just can see my vision, honestly, and is supporting it.
No, that is awesome. Like, I want to give you a very big shout out because, like I said, for those of you that joined a little bit later, Paula and I, we have this mutual friend, Jennifer Kirkland, who is your EPA, your CPA, your taxologist.
My taxologist, Jennifer.
She's my taxologist. She's Paula's taxologist. If you want to learn more about her, I did a live with her maybe 2 months ago. It's in the IGTV section of my page. But I saw you on her page, and I just was like, she sounds so amazing. I just want to just hear her and hear her story. And from there, it's just been this like behind the scenes, like strategic kind of movement of putting some really powerful and great women in place that are just, like you said, seeing your vision and making things happen and kind of like connecting some of the dots that needed to be connected. And then on the side of that, you know, because we vibe, like, you know, we're in daily contact at this point. So I just want to thank you for coming on here and for also all of the insight that you do behind the scenes and, you know, and on here as well, because I do appreciate it. And I would like to give, of course, a big shout out to Rodney Hughes, the founder and creator of Realish Radio Network. He produces the shows. If you want to learn more about Rodney, I also did a live with him, and you can learn how I switched over from my Instagram platform to Realish Radio Network in the IGTV section. And last shout out I'm going to give is I had a guest on earlier this week. I had a guest on Wednesday, Kelly Diane of Kelly Diane Designs. I want to thank you, Kelly. She released a wallet named after me, and she didn't tell me that she was going to do it. It's called the Blayne wallet. And she just dropped that.
So nice.
It is so, I was like, I'm not a big crier, but I was like real tears. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. She names all of her products after friends and family members. So I want to just thank you so much, Kelly. That was an awesome and amazing surprise. I'm super honored. And now I have to go get the wallet. So we are going to hop off of here because Paula's going to have a live. You can find it on her Instagram page, which is Paula with 2 L's, Paulla McCarthy, MC Carthy, MCC. ARTHY. She is going to get on there for a hot minute, and I don't want you all to miss it. So thank you so much, Paula. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of the brands and businesses that continue to support the show. And like I said, keep your notifications locked to Realish Radio. We are working hard to bring you some great content. You can check out all the new shows that are here. I go live every week, sometimes twice a week. So definitely look out for that. So thank you, Paula. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and I will see you next week. And Paula, stay on for 2 seconds because we do like a quick talk behind the scenes, and then you jump on your live.
All right, thanks for having me on, guys. Thank you, guys.
Hi guys, I'm Kalia.
I'm Salita.
And we want to welcome you to our new podcast called Sisters Talking Ish on the Real Ish Radio Network.
So download the app at realishradiolapp.com. And you can also watch us on Facebook and YouTube and listen to the audio on all streaming platforms.
Right now.